Live and learn. Yulia and Ina with you here. Today we continue the conversation and invite you to join the discussion at facebook.com/Live and Learn podcast.
Hi, hello, how are you doing?
Well, actually fine. And since our previous discussion when we spoke about holiday time, vacation time, summertime, it feels like I'm now ready to do the weeks that are already planned and that are completely scheduled, but with the idea that I can go on holiday later and I feel my students are safe. Now they know what to do on vacation and how to continue learning. What about you?
Yeah, we went actually yesterday to the corporate party of the freelancers. We have the Association of English Teachers here in Berlin. It's called LTUB, and we created a special event just like Tuesday afternoon. We had a photo shooting in front of the massive art object, which is colorful, all the colors on the buildings, on the ground, on this, walking lines. And we got a photo shoot of like 7-8 of us. Such a fantastic mood to have a corporate party for freelancers, because it is such an interesting, such a thing that you always feel like you are all alone as a freelancer. And still, I do miss a lot of this community when we were in the same department, when you have like 30 people to talk to, 60 people to have a chat with, both professional and small talk.
Yeah, and this is kind of things that we do on this podcast as well. This is how it started, from the deep and real need to discuss some professional things as well in a comfortable environment and talking to people you appreciate and whose opinion you value about some professional issues. So it's really important, because I completely agree here. It's pretty hard to stay one-to-one with your working stuff that you need to somehow elaborate always on your own, and then having someone you can share with, someone you can ask advice from is really important. Yeah, for you it was kind of a party and at the same time some professional discussion, wasn't it?
It wasn't really a professional discussion, but it was more like building the relationship with the people that you work with. So it is the team building, I don't know, the team raising the engagement, but as well it was just like everybody's doing the exams at the moment, preparing for students exams and so on, and the exams are some online, some need to come back offline to have all those regulations to sit 1 meter and they have one from another, and that's a bit like stressing, because you need to do something that is not even close to the teaching profession, but you need to be thinking a lot of those administrative security stuff, and like when you have all your head busy with the tasks, with the evaluation, was it right, was it good, did they do enough, and then you need to think like 5 times more about this administrative organization, and then you have people who come and cheer you up and say, hey, someone brought a camera, someone brought the Aperol, someone brought red lipstick, and that already was a fantastic way to forget a little bit about the professional duty altogether. That was nice.
Still being part of a community, of a professional community. And this is a wonderful thing, being able also to relax together in a professional community, but doing some relaxing stuff. It's also one of the issues of being on vacation and being able to relax, because if not, we tend to burn out quickly and to have all those stressful moments with our duties, as you said. And also, I don't like to call work or workload something that I choose to do professionally. At the same time, if you do too much of it, and especially if you have to do some stuff not related directly to the work you like to do, then we tend very often to feel this burnout.
That's true. And I think what I believe is you have a department which which works together, which has the same tasks, challenges, and working on the same project, then people are already in this topic. They know who you are working with and what kind of challenge or pleasure it is, how rewarding it is as well. But if you're not, then you most probably do not have somebody to talk to, so that this person is on the same level of understanding your challenges or what you're dealing with, or what is so precious of the way you found out from the situation. Because we really need some kind of praise, and necessarily praise, but appreciation that, oh, I understand how difficult it is. Wow, you did a great job of finding this particular way out of this. I think that psychologists, they do have a very good idea of having a supervisor when it's not your direct manager. And this is a person who is more professional or has more years behind and knows how to support you, how to ask questions, how to appreciate what you're doing, how to, I don't know, read you maybe, or give you a moment of self-reflection. So I think it is a very important thing to, if we are asked to be facilitators, coaches, negotiators in our class. So I would probably appreciate having the supervisor as a benefit.
Do you mean a supervisor or a mentor? And is there a difference for you between the two?
Yeah, I think there are huge differences between the facilitator, mentor, coach, supervisor. And
so when you are discussing this, who do you mean you need?
I mean, I meant the very idea that supervision, in my understanding, this is when you, as a professional, come to a more experienced professional on a regular basis, like every 2 weeks. I don't know what's the frequency, and you discuss what happened with your clients professionally. Did you do correctly? Did you answer correctly? There was a situation when you didn't feel comfortable. Did you do something? Like, it's more about the routine and making sure that your decisions are sane. And it takes a little bit your ego down, because if you're not discussing this, then like either you're saying, oh my gosh, I did something very, very wrong. I answered this incorrectly. I don't know how to do, or something like this. Or then you said, oh, everything was fine. I'm super cool. So in my understanding, supervisor is the person who you can discuss the actual collaboration with your clients anonymously, maybe, but feeling the support wherever you need. The mentor is something very different.
Can I add something here about the role of a supervisor and supervision in general? Because I believe it's different in psychotherapy that you started with. In psychotherapy, it's not about coming to someone more experienced who would say what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, but rather coming to someone who can help you figure out things if you feel you got stuck with a client, and then see it's not about doing something right or wrong, but about seeing whether you get involved with your personal issues into the process with the client. Then in teaching, I believe there is partly this as well, but also something else. Probably when you mentioned that a person comes to a more experienced colleague on a regular basis in search of proof that he or she is doing things right, or help in case they're not doing things right.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call this a mentorship.
You wouldn't call it?
A mentorship.
Yeah, sure. This is what I wanted to comment on supervision, not on mentorship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you remember, when we were working together, we would communicate about the certain activities or certain reactions from the students or certain reaction from the management again. And because we believed in our own, like everybody's good intentions and understanding that they are inside the situation as well, we could brainstorm what could be done otherwise, right? What could be done in a more sound way. And that was, for me, a collective supervision.
Yeah, that's intervision. There is a term for this. It's intervision, when colleagues exchange experience and visions on the process.
Peer vision. Okay, and that was something very, very beautiful, because I felt the support. I felt that we can find the solution. We were doing a lot of the examinations, a lot of the, what was that, Olympiads, a lot of like challenges that a new teacher can find.
Quite challenging for the students to propose and to see how engaged they are when they are proposed these things. And then seeing whether it's our ego, right, to propose these things, or if it's really useful for the students. And this is something that I also ask myself every time I propose something that I feel enthusiastic about. Then I tend to stop and I ask myself, is it something I would rather do? Or is it something that is useful for a student to practice?
So yeah, I guess this is a very important part of the teacher's well-being. The well-being of a teacher becomes such an important topic. Yesterday there was a big conference on teachers' well-being, and I believe I sent you a couple of these slides from screenshots about it, how necessary it is to make sure that you are on a safe side, you are on a resourceful side, you are on the you are balanced, and you do not bring your own personal or professional worries to the class, because that's the last thing that the students might need in this situation. And therefore, I think that frequent communication about professional challenges can help to channel this emotions and these feelings, and to separate that this is my class, this is where I do, this is my tribe, my teacher's tribe, this is where we share victories, challenges, problems, challenges as well. And this is the talking to the clients, and this is talking to managers, and this is selling myself, this is the marketing way. So when you separate, then you understand that everything is a skill to learn. Again, welcome back to soft skills, to the management skills. And then it doesn't feel that, oh, you are good as a teacher altogether with all those hats, or today you didn't work out as a teacher because you said something wrong, or you asked, or you couldn't answer, or something, like a lot of those doubts. When I understand that those are different hats, so then I understand that only one hat was...
I felt awkward wearing this one hat, but I was okay with the other hats that I have in stock.
Exactly. Yeah, and this communication understand, okay, I will be seeing my tribe in 2 days, so I can like put it into the container and feel safe with everything else up until the moment I discuss the situation. So then it becomes a very protected and secure way to not to keep on eating your own head because of it.
And so I'm a bit lost. So to get this, who do you come to? What kind of a specialist do you come to? Is that peer assessment, intervision, or is this a situation in which you would, or one would search for a mentor?
I come to you because for me, you're the person who has the psychology
background.
MA, call it the normal way. You have a MA in psychology, you have an MA in teaching English, you have amazing number of years of experience, and I do know that I look up to your expertise. So in these situations, I normally come to you, but I do miss this peer intervision.
Intervision, yeah. So you look for intervision, like a possibility to have a wider scope of different views or visions on a situation.
Yeah, because right now at the university, as I told you, we don't have the departments. So all I have is the person who is course manager, who sees which person to put to read this discipline, the students, and maybe the person who is doing the schedule. So basically that's it. I have so many doubts when I'm preparing the lecture, when I'm preparing the cases, is it appropriate? Will it work? Do you have other situation? What was the previous thing? Did they learn this? Didn't they learn this? And I have so many questions that I have to deal with by myself, that compared to when we were in the department, and I could ask these things immediately without the delay from any of our department teachers, and I would receive those answers just like in a minute, because that's the common knowledge. I would doubt much less in myself, and this is what I miss, because that gives you this tribal support, professional tribal support, I guess. But what I started with the supervision is something that is really, I think it would be a fancy benefit to bring the idea of the supervision if we ask teachers to be coaches and facilitators. So the more and more call for teachers to be everything, but I'm not sure if then the teachers who are trying to do all the best they can, if they receive as much support as they should have. And that's why I believe our association is a powerful thing, because we're doing the professional development, academic development, conferences, even the beers once a month is a fantastic thing, because you hear the stories, you hear the experience of the people, you get to know people you work in the same city, right?
Yeah, I guess I see what you mean, and trying to put myself into the shoes of someone who would need such a community, I feel probably that's not exactly the thing for me to do, because that would be too much interaction or too much communication for me. And here I believe you need more communication, more interaction, as a more sociable type of person than myself. Meanwhile, for me, it's just enough to talk to you or to talk individually to another colleague whom I trust. And I think I don't need so much collaboration or going out together with colleagues in bigger groups. So I would say I'm quite okay with not being alone. Exactly, this is risky in terms of burnout, but being able to talk one-to-one to a person you trust, and for me that's absolutely enough. Anyway, I think it can be safe territory for professionals who need more perspectives, more views on their own professional path or things they do, especially for beginning or aspiring teachers. As you said, being asked to be everything and to do everything is such a slippery road. And here, of course, we need, all of us need support, be it one person, if that's enough, be it a group of people, if that's what you need. But anyway, having this support that can be kind of a cushion for you to find protection, to feel safe, to find the force to go on, even if or even when you feel this burnout.
It's not only the burnout, I guess. Burnout, yeah, sure, I understand what you're saying, but here I have a very interesting case that happened this week or last week. One of our teachers from the association said that he's coming to the offline teaching to the school now, and he is asked to do the activities with like 1.5 meters distance from the students. And now he needs to rethink his teaching procedures, approaches, to make sure that students can do a simultaneous speaking while sitting 1.5 meters one within another. So what he does, he puts in our association network, like in our chat basically, hey, need some brainstorming here, who's available? I have this situation. If you have a minute to spare, or give me some brains, can I share your thoughts? And we got together like 4 of us, I guess, or 5, and we came up with the solutions, with the real practical solutions. Okay, this is the situation. You have a small room, you have 8 people, you have 8 separate little tables. How you're supposed to build the environment for the speaking, how you can make them speak 1.5 meters one from another, and so that's not only one person or 2 people are speaking and others are listening, but are doing this at the same time. So what could be an appropriate activity for A2 level, for example? What can be an appropriate way how to make them not to interrupt each other? Then you need to be a bit louder than normal, and then the other classes would come and say, why you are so loud? Oh, we are doing speaking here, why you are so loud, right? So basically this kind of the everyday challenges, but with the Corona, this is the first time that this challenge comes up, right? So
this is not something that people were taught at universities, but this is something that requires creativity and thinking out of the box, something we mentioned on one of our previous episodes. But here I would immediately intervene with offering some video talks, video chats with people's smartphones in class. Like, you don't have to shout. You can have your smartphone, get connected with people through a chat and do a normal conversation without having to increase the level of your voice. And it's only one of possible visions on how to use your creativity in class.
Yeah, but that's what we did. We started sharing our immediate responses, because 5 professionals in one Zoom room is better than the one person who asks for help. And I feel that this is the very reason why I showed this example, that it feels that we support each other, given the ideas, brainstorming what can be done, because each of us has very different experience, and each of us can show what we have seen through the latest conferences or webinars, or we can come up with, and that's the professional sharing.
Yeah, interesting. Then another thing that it makes me think about is that despite some negative aspects of this teaching in emergency or functioning as a teacher in emergency, brings us also to possibilities that we would never have obtained if not for this situation. And that makes me think about your experience you've recently had. Could you tell more about this fantastic collaboration and interaction between professionals thanks to networking and despite the distance?
Well, you already described everything. Yeah,
this is what I feel this experience is or has been for you. And I'm so eager to hear more about what it started with and how it worked for you and for the community.
Okay, while you already explained what it brought to, I can say what the setting is, right? The situation was after our soft skills podcast, which is episode 5, 6, I believe.
5 and 6, I believe.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay. I thought you were doubting like 5, 6.
So after the episode on soft skills went live, I was contacted by one of the professors at Indian business school, like a business school in India, and he is one of the soft skills department professors, I believe, by saying, "Oh my gosh, you have such a fantastic podcast. You are actually using the storytelling techniques when you're talking about storytelling. You are actually listening actively one to another when you're showing it. So this is such an example of using the soft skills when you're talking about the soft skills. Can you tell how important it is to my students?" And I said, "Of course, sure, I'd be happy to." But I didn't expect it to be that quick and that mind-blowing.
Tell the truth, you thought it was small talk.
No, I didn't. I thought that it could become a collaboration, but I didn't think how quickly it can come live.
Because we're in Germany and things don't work fast here.
Yeah,
so when a person contacts you here in Germany and says, maybe it's a good idea, you think, yeah, maybe it's a good idea. Sometime later, let's get back to it later.
Sometime when we plan it in 3 months. And here it was immediate because I said, yeah, I'd be happy. Just contact me and I can always do this for your students. And the person answers like, "Oh, just give me a big yes and let's start, scheduling." So, "Oh, okay, you have my big yes because it's summer and we can always find a proper time slot for that." Next week, maybe somewhere Tuesday, Wednesday, perhaps. Okay, and then that's it. In a week's time, like, "Oh, so it's Wednesday already, so let's get it done, let's get it scheduled. So do you like the topic? Do you want to rephrase it? Are you happy with this? Can I make the poster?" And then like in half an hour, we already discussed all the details for tomorrow's webinar in India. And that was an amazing situation because I really miss this dynamics. I really miss this tempo because, as I told you a couple of times on a job interview on February, I was asked if I can do a course in November. That's what the German horizon of planning is. And now I was asked on Tuesday if I can give a talk on Wednesday, and then I got it all confirmed the day before. So for me, this is completely different pace.
And most surprisingly, it really happened. Not only did you arrange everything, but it worked.
I think the organizing skills were just mind-blowing. I felt so welcome, so precious, so valued, and like I was basking in this gracious welcoming. So that was an amazing experience, I need to say, and a very strong intercultural experience in the same time.
Yeah, could you tell more about the people who were the audience of this webinar? Who are these listeners eager to know about soft skills?
Like tomorrow.
Like tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So what the organizer said that he posted in the chat, the poster that like tomorrow we're having the webinar, this is the speaker, this is the topic, could you guys sign up please? And when I asked, so how many students are we expecting? I had a like 8, 12, maybe 15, 20 maximum, because like, can you tell these same soft skills ideas to my students? In my understanding, like to a group that I teach, right? But then I forgot that this is India, and this is completely different scale and population and striving for the knowledge. When Mushtaq told me we're expecting 100 plus people, I got a bit shocked because it wasn't even in my mind that, but yeah, then live and learn. That's something that happens and something that I really needed to make it more interactive, more communicative with 100 people online from India.
Yeah, so who are these people from India?
So these were the MBA students, business administration masters, who were studying for marketing, HR, and like the management specialties. And for them, that's the opportunity to hear from a third party what soft skills are and which are important, which are necessary, how to develop them, how to learn them, where to study them, who to study them from, and how to transfer all the skills from your previous experience into your working environment. So I showed some latest research numbers, a lot of funny pics, of course, but still together I try to make sure that that's like another person saying what and how to implement. So as far as I understood, that was the main idea, to share the vision, how it works already in the management positions. So it was a fantastic thing. 118 people came and asked fantastic cases, asked questions, interacted, and I was really impressed by the brilliant answers, brilliant commentaries that we had during the webinar, and that such a fantastic, thankful environment was created. That I'm still, really, really excited about it.
Yeah, that's what sometimes people who read a lot and have vast vocabularies sometimes get stuck with saying one word because it best represents the idea. If it was just fantastic, even if you know 100 other adjectives, you stick to this, and really it best represents what this experience was like. If it was fantastic experience from the point of view of intercultural communication, of engagement, of involvement, of reactions and feedback. And by the way, I believe you have a link to share both with the webinar itself and some feedback from the students. If you don't mind, we could share it in the show notes.
It's in my LinkedIn profile. I made a post about the webinar, some kind of the ideas that I discussed, and the feedback that I received from the students, which again was something impressive, because not everywhere the culture of feedback is the same. And this is another intercultural communication case, because some people are still scared to ask for feedback. Some people feel a challenge to give a feedback. Some people still believe that feedback is praise, or some people believe that feedback is the very opposite of praise. Therefore, yeah, using the virtual collaboration tools, it becomes so easy, so natural, because what the dean of the soft skills department did, he just created a poster wall where everybody could stick their commentary, and it has a link that exists and will exist forever, right? So now I have a link to the wall of fame, the wall of praise of how the students, how the learners felt, what they found precious.
Yeah, precious, useful, what they could have as takeaway from this the webinar.
The takeaway they learned.
Marvelous. And having such experience, again, I'm not afraid to say it again and again, that intercultural perspectives that you had a possibility to feel is something that cannot be overestimated. Then, having lived in different cultural environments and having worked in different cultural environments is something that allows to share the experience. Like you said in the beginning that planning and timing of scheduling events is so different in Germany and in India. I could add something about Italy, for instance, where people have as well a different perspective on timing and on scheduling. And so, like, it's recognizable when a person says, see you sometime in the afternoon or see you sometime during the week. It doesn't mean anything if not see you sometime during, like, it's never exactly scheduled. And what is amazing is that university lectures are scheduled, because it's the over European and world practice to schedule lessons. At the same time, when the lesson is scheduled, the university lecture is scheduled and it's due at 1 p.m., you can be sure it will not start at 1 p.m. It just doesn't work like that. I had fantastic experience. Let me repeat this adjective because it's just beautiful. When I saw one event in Italy announced on two different media. One announcement was physical, like offline at the university hall, and it said there is a professor lecturing at 18 in this hall. Okay, then I saw the same announcement on Facebook and it said 18:30. I had my doubts. I'm pedantic. I came up to a secretary and asked her, what is the exact time? And she said, my dear, do you want to come and wait? Then come at 18. If you saw this event posted on Facebook for international people and it says 18:30, so it's due 18:30. It says 18 here at the university for Italian participants. They will read 18, they will come at 18:30 so we can start on time. This is how it works, and professional managers know about it.
And the event actually started at 7.
At around 18:45, and notice how I'm calling this 18, 18:30, 18:45 because of my experience of scheduling things in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Because you never say 6:30 even. You don't say 6:30 p.m.
Afternoon.
No, you say exact times. I wouldn't be surprised if something was scheduled and it said like 18:46. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I had once a scheduled event for 14:12.
I'm not surprised, you see.
Here in Germany, we were watching the apartments and the scheduled apartment.
Like every 4 minutes.
Exactly. There were another, like every 12 minutes, there were another 20 people to see one apartment. So basically, can you imagine that 12 people came in front of the apartment, in front of the house at 14:10. 14:07, there were nobody. 14:10, there were 12 people. 14:12, the person opens the apartment, lets 12 people in, and says you have 12 minutes to decide because another 12 people will be waiting in 10 minutes.
So 12 is his lucky number.
Okay, thank you. It was a pleasure to talk to you. I'm looking forward to the next opportunity. Let our podcast live and learn.
Curious about what we discuss next? Join us at facebook.com/Live and Learn podcast.